Hey there, welcome to another video on math problem solving. This is Bharat Divyang from Zigzag Academy. And before we get into today's problem, let me quickly announce that we would be starting a 13th summer camp in April and May of this year. This is our 13th summer camp. We started our first one in 2013, and it's been 13 consecutive years through the pandemics that we've been doing summer camps. And every year we try to introduce something new. Last year we did public speaking, theater, and this year we're doing creative writing. The reason is, I think, 21st century skills are need of the day for kids today. Problem solving is one of them. Critical thinking is one of them. And this video is about problem solving techniques. And similarly, in addition to this, you also need to have a well-rounded education, creative writing and communication being equally critical and important as problem solving and math and analytical skills. And that's the reason we're also doing creative writing, and we are actually using a AI solution to help improve creative writing. And one of our methodology, one of our key elements of pedagogy is progress before perfection. Iteration and incremental ways of learning is way better than trying to sit and craft the best or the perfect thing possible. So it's a way in which you can help your children iteratively learn how to become a better writer and find their voice. So if you're interested in that program or the math program, the Olympiad math program, or chess, or any other thing that we offer, please do reach out, www.zugzwang.in, and you'll be able to find the contact details, or you can just leave a comment in this video and we'll be happy to contact you. Anyway, getting into this problem today. And so you have 15 numbers, A1 to A15, and they have a constant equal difference between two consecutive numbers, as in this is the difference between A2 and A3 is exactly the same between A3 and A4. In other words, it's an arithmetic progression, and there are three given conditions. A1 is a positive integer between 1 to 10, A2 is an integer between 13 to 20, and A15 is between 241 and 250. The question is, what is the sum of the digits of A14? Now, you can pause the video here, give it a shot, try to solve the problem, go through what I call as a productive struggle, because without that, you're really not going to appreciate the problem here. So take your time, open a sheet of paper, take a pen, put it down, try to solve it, try to play around with it, and that's when you get to the solution. And then come back. Okay, so pause and do it. Cool. So welcome back, and I hope you went through the process of productive struggle to get through the solution. And if you did get it, please do leave your comment about how you approach the problem. If not, let's try and solve this together. The key learning point here is not to just look at the solution, but in fact spend some time trying to understand the methodology behind arriving at the solution. Okay. So the key idea here, if you look at this, is that there are 15 numbers, and these 15 numbers can pretty much be anything, right? And you can say, okay, these numbers, if they're like positive integers, then you could say that, I'd still say infinite numbers for each one of them. So how does a problem like that come down and reduce in scope? And then you realize that, okay, I have 15 numbers, and then those 15 numbers have a constant equal difference, right? A constant difference between two consecutive numbers. But is this enough? Because then I could say, if I know A1 and I know the constant difference, then I pretty much know everything. But A1 I know has 10 possibilities, and the constant difference could be anything, right? It could be huge. The only thing I know is A2 is A1 plus the constant difference. So if A1 on the lowest side is 1, then D could be anything from 12 all the way till 19. And if A were 2, D could be anything from 11 all the way to 18. And if you keep going this way and you realize that A1 at the max would be 10, in which case D could just be 1 all the way to 10. So the lowest value for D would be 1, and the highest value for D would be 19. So in total, you would end up getting 19 different possibilities here. So in other words, if you were to multiply these two, the number of possible answers is 190. So if you have 190 possible answers, possible combinations, how do you reduce that into 1? That is the whole idea. And to do that, you need to filter through, you need to create the filters, and you need to iterate through to get the answer. For example, we know that A15 is nothing but A1 plus 14D. Okay. Now, if D were anything like, you know the lowest for A1 is 1, and the highest for A1 is 10. Now, if D were the lowest, which is 1 here, which means 14D would just be 14. And even at the highest value of 10 plus 14 would be 24, nowhere near 241. So the only way this can work is if D is closer to the high end of it, which is 19. And if you do 14 times 19, it's nothing but 14 times 20 minus 14. So 14 times 20 is 280, minus is going to be 264, 266. Right? So 266 is going to be the upper value, and which means it's still greater than 250. So that doesn't work for me. 18 is 14 less than this, which means it's 252. That also doesn't work for me. 17, that works because it's 238. So 238 plus something. 238 plus something. What about 16? So 16 is 14 less than 238, which is 224. Now, if D were 224, 14 times D is 224, then even at the highest value of A1, it's only 234, which means you'll never be able to satisfy this condition. And therefore, you can narrow down and say that D is the only possible value for D has to be 17. So which means 10 possible ways for getting A1 and 1 possible way for getting this, which means you've narrowed down the answer from 190 to just about 10 possible answers. Okay, so we know D is 17, and we know A1 can be anywhere from 1 to 10, and A2 can be anywhere from 13 to 20. So now let's ask the question. If A1 were 1, then A2 could be 18. If A1 were 2, then A2 could be 19. And if A1 were 3, A2 could be 20. But if A1 were 4, then you would break this condition. And therefore, you can narrow it down now to only 3 possible values. So the 10 further becomes just 3 possible values. Now, how do I eliminate this? Now, I look for the lower end of it. I know that 17 times 14, 14D is 238. So 238 plus A1 needs to reach 241. And this can only happen if A1 is 3. So now you can narrow down 3 to 1 possible solution. So in other words, A1 has to be 3. The difference has to be 17, making A2 20, making A15 241, and making A14 to be 14 less than this, right? 17 less than this, because the difference is 17. 17 less than this is 224. And therefore, answering this question makes it the sum of the digits is 2 plus 2 plus 4, which is 8. Okay. So as a problem solving technique, one of the things that you can do in number theory is always think that without any constraints, you have this large, huge set of possibilities. In our case, it was 190 possibilities. But by understanding the constraints and looking at the extreme values of the inequalities, we reduce 190 to 10, 10 to 3, and then 3 to 1. So every condition plays the role of paring down all the other things. This is very similar to the razor concept that I've spoken in the past. We're applying the same thing again. Each and every constraint, each and every condition is the razor that you can use to cut down the possibilities until what is left is the answer. I hope you like this video. If so, please do like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.